Hello, this is video 5, talking about the rules for naming amines and ammonium salts. An amine is a family of compounds in which the functional group is defined by a carbon-nitrogen single bond. To name an amine, you just take away the E from the name of the parent alkane and add amine. Seems pretty obvious, right? However, the nitrogen can have more than one alkyl group, and so the other substituents on the nitrogen is indicated by N-. So, to name an amine, let's first find the longest carbon chain that has the carbon-nitrogen bond. In this case, of course, there's only one, and that's very obvious, so that this molecule is butane 1-amine. In this case, you see that the nitrogen has two nitrogen carbon bonds here and here. So now we have to compare which is the longest chain. And obviously, the 6-carbon chain is longer than the 2-carbon chain, so that this is named as a derivative of hexane amine. We see that the carbon-nitrogen bond is at carbon 3, so it's a hexane 3-amine. Finally, on the nitrogen, there's also a 2-carbon chain, so it's ethyl group. So this molecule is N-ethyl hexane 3-amine. Finally, we see this particular amine having 3 carbon-nitrogen bonds. Again, we find the one that has the longest chain, which happens to be a 3-carbon chain. So this is going to be a derivative of propane-amine. It's situated on carbon 1, so it's a propane 1-amine. Now there are 2 other groups on N, and we just put them as substituents on N, and in the order, the first in the alphabet comes first. So we have E for ethyl and M for methyl. So it's N-ethyl because it comes first in the alphabet, then N-methyl, and then propane 1-amine. Here are some more examples. You may want to pause and study the examples to make sure you do know how the rules are being applied properly to these molecules. Now, amines can further form another nitrogen-carbon bond so that it forms an ammonium salt. For these molecules, N has a plus charge. Now, the ammonium salts are just named by listing all the groups in alphabetical order, followed by ammonium, and then the name of the counterion, because it's charged molecule. So here we see the counterion is hydroxide, so it appears at the last part of this name. And we see that there are 4 methyl groups, so it's tetramethyl ammonium hydroxide. Now let's look at a slightly more complex example where we have different alkyl groups. We find that this molecule has dimethyl, it's got an ethyl, and it's got propyl. Now we just put all these groups in alphabetical order. So E comes first, ethyl, then M, so it's dimethyl, and then finally propyl. So it's ethyl, dimethyl, propyl, ammonium, and the counterion is chloride. So that is a separate word at the end. You may want to take some time now to review the last video to make sure you understand the rules for naming amines and ammonium salts. And then we'll go on to the 6th video, which is going to be the naming of alcohols.